Hi, Mina. How's it going?
Hi, good to see you.
Good to see you. My name's Ed Easton Jr. from USA Today's NFL Wire. Um, Obviously, so much going on this week. We're in Super Bowl week, and I can't help but start with your amazing partnership with P&G. Can you just describe what you're doing with them this week?
Yeah, so PSG put together they call it like the Super Bowl Sunday roster, and the idea being like everybody has a job to play, similar to NFL teams, and I am the style strategist. The captain is Tyler Shuck, who is lovely. I don't know if you ever got a chance to interview him. Uh, but my role is as described. But it also means my products are Olay moisturizer, which I use, and Head and Shoulders shampoo, which I also use. And sort of similar thinking that they can be a part of your game day roster. I actually love it though because I'm not lying. I actually do use them, and I was excited to get. It's always good when you get products that you actually want. So that was nice.
I hear that. And obviously, going into the big game day, is that going to be a part of your game day routine, I should say? I know you're in Seattle. I know it's, a little biased there, but is that going to be going into your game day routine?
Yeah, it is. It normally is. I'm actually working too on Super Bowl Sunday, so it's gonna be a long day. So I actually, I gotta stay moisturized. Hair's gotta be ready. But we're gonna be on after the game from SoFi Stadium. So it'll be a work day, which isn't always the case for me. Actually, in the past, this is the first Super Bowl that I've covered where I'm actually broadcasting after the game. I've never had to do that. It's always been the next Monday morning. So this is the first time for me that I'm going to be busy all day.
Oh, well, it's a great busy, of course.
Yeah.
And, obviously, like I said, the big game's coming up, and your history just, with supporting Seattle sports and the Seahawks back in the big game. Big rematch. Everyone keeps talking about it. But are you tired of hearing about what happened the last time these two matched up? I'm just curious for your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I've seen the Butler interception about 20 times, but the week is young. Um I think for Seattle is like an opportunity, right? Even though obviously outside of John Schneider and some of the staff, it's a totally new group of players, of course. It's totally new group of coaches, but for the fans, um, that memory I think still haunts them. So Seattle, I think the chance to play this team again and exercise some of those demons and it was such a brutal, painful way to lose a Super Bowl. I think it's definitely going to be looming over the game a bit.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be discussed. And just obviously the game in general. How are you feeling about Seattle and just the team that they've really come together, have a great season, number one seed. When you look at this team, do you feel like this is the year where they can really get over that hump and obviously win a title? You're going against, Drake May. He had a great season. Everyone's talking about his
Yeah.
playoff performances. Do you think that even matters when you talk about such a big game as the Super Bowl?
I think so. Yeah, you mean that May and how good he's been or
Yes.
yeah, I think it's an interesting one from a matchup perspective because Drake was incredible during the regular season. And it's almost like the offense and the defense of the Patriots have flipped. The offense really carried them through the regular season, but in the postseason, it's been the defense, and the offense has struggled. I think a lot of those struggles though, have had to do with opponents, really difficult defenses, horrible weather. And I wouldn't be surprised if May looks better in the Super Bowl than he has in the postseason thus far, even though the Seahawks defense is very good as well. But top to bottom, Seattle to me looks like the more complete team. I think they're favorites for a reason. And that can, yeah, that can add, this in Kansas City, it can add some stress if you're supposed to be the favorite and everyone expects you to win. Whereas New England, it kind of feels like they're ahead of schedule and they're playing with house money a bit.
I definitely agree with that. And actually, it's a great segue because I do a lot of coverage covering Kansas City. So I had a couple of Kansas City questions, if you
Yeah,
don't mind.
hit me.
I do want to just get your thoughts on just this past year. Was it something that you felt like was probably due to happen for them to have this poor season, or was this kind of just like an outlier and we just it's like a bump in the road and they'll get back to what they were next year?
Yeah, I think it was a combination of things. One of which is it's just really hard to be dominant in the NFL year after year. I think because of the the Patriots and Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, we think that's possible or even normal, but it's just not because of the way the salary cap works. And if you win, you pick so late and you also play so much football, which I think impacts injuries. And so all of that hit, I think, from a roster perspective, from the outside, we probably overrated parts of the roster coming into the season, and some of that was exposed a little bit. The inability to find stars at big important positions, pass rusher, receiver. And then some of it was like last year they got a little bit lucky, right? And sometimes like that's turnover luck, point differential, all of that. It usually swings. So I think it was just kind of a confluence of factors for Kansas City, but still such a believer in the quarterback and the coaching staff. I can't imagine that next year won't be better.
Definitely. And obviously, one of the big stories in the offseason is whether or not Patrick Mahomes will be ready for week one. Uh,
Yeah.
Travis Kelsey, will he retire? Which one do you think is more realistic at this point? I know we're talking it's
Mm.
February right now, but which one do you think is more realistic? Patrick Mahomes starting week one or Travis Kelsey retiring?
I really don't know with Kelsey. You have people there and would know better than I. It's a shame too because he actually was having a pretty damn good season. I think kind of was flying under the radar a bit, and I think he's still capable of pretty high level play. I think for him, it's just kind of a matter of, does he believe in the team enough and their ability to run it back and his body and knowing whether he feels like he can still play at the level that he wants to. And then for Patrick, like by all accounts from the outside, it seems like he's, if not week one, he'll be ready pretty early. Um, so I guess I would hope that that's if I'm a Chiefs fan, I hope that he's ready week one, but we'll see.
Definitely. And I got one more question for you. Obviously, it's the big question. Do you have a final score for the Super Bowl? I don't know if you're allowed to say early
No,
or
I did. I had to give one to ESPN, so I'll give you the same score. I went Seattle 27, New England 24, which felt safe. Which I think is closer than Vegas projects. But it's a Super Bowl. I feel like I also feel like, there's not enough of a discrepancy at the line of scrimmage for this to be a bloodbath either way. So, yeah, but I do think Seattle will win.
sounds good. Mina, thank you so much for your time, and obviously looking forward to your spots with PNG and just everything that you're doing with ESPN. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that.